late shuvits. A late shuvit is an ollie and then a shuvit on the way down from the ollie. And there was a trick that was big in the early 90s. And people kind of stopped doing them because now the big deal is to catch your trick. So you shove it and then you catch it up there. And this is actually done after you reach your height, your apex, and then you do it on the way down. And usually it's done front side.
Yeah, that's what makes it interesting, is because it's really a two-part trick. When you do this trick, you ollie, and as you level out on your ollie, that's when the trick actually happens. That's when you shove it the board. So you ollie, reach your peak, and then it's a shove it, and then you land. So it's a two-part trick.
What you want to do is when you're at the top of your ollie, you got to be really level. You got to be over your board. Like everything's got to be right for the shove it to work properly. And the shove it is like a scissor kick with your leg. You know, one leg goes one way and the other leg goes the other, and it's really tricky. But you got to keep your board flat, because otherwise you're gonna land on a board that's upside down or just not there at all. But we'll talk about mistakes later. So let's try some late shoves and you know, old school. As you level out your ollie, kick your back foot towards your toes to start the board spinning. Simultaneously, kick your front foot towards your heel and downward. Stay above your board as it spins and make sure it is not flipping. Set your feet on the board before it spins too far and lean forward as you land. A lot of problems can happen with late shuvits. One of the biggest problems is leaning back as you're about to land, and you end up either with your back foot off, or you just end up in a wheelie, or you just end up shooting out and landing on your back. The way to overcome that is to just make sure you're really hovered over your front foot as you're coming down. What else?
Yeah, you gotta stay centered over your board. If you're not centered over your board, you're gonna loop out, or you can fall forward. Either way, I think it's just really important with this trick to really try and land, you know, with your shoulders square and you're centered.
Yeah, you're leaning forward. Another problem is that the board will flip once you throw it into a shove it. That is caused by your feet not being flat as you go to the shove it. So maybe you're always off a little bit, maybe you're more on your toes or on your heel, but it's real easy. It just happens like that. You go to shove it and the thing just flops over and you end up landing emo sometimes, which I had a good example of.
Yeah, again, I think this is a trick that because it's a two-part trick, and because the main part of the trick happens after the fact, it's really it's something that adds your repertoire of tricks, and it makes you a more versatile skater. It gives you more options when you're skating at the skate park, or, you know, skating in a contest. You have more